It's a good day today. We are featuring Lawrence Obonyo once more for the election law. Once you had Obonyo on this podcast, it is about the election law. And it's the best moment for him to come back and discuss these issues. Remember, we said in our first episode that he was the person who graced the Legal Mind podcast. We discussed about the election laws, and there were more than 7 statutes concerning the election. We're going to focus only on 2 laws. That is the Constitution, Article 136 2B, and Article 177(4). I think for those who are understanding the legal issues, those 2 articles now are so famous because of the judgments that were ended by Justice Mugure Thande about the election. And he said that election shall be held on the 5th year, the second Tuesday of the 5th year. I think there's a lot of things that people are discussing, and I was listening to Willis. I think a lot are not unpacked. So today, Lawrence is going to help us unpack that, because even in 2017, a member of county assemblies went to the court, and in the High Court they were given a green light. In the Court of Appeal, the green light was shut, and then now they appealed to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court said, no, you guys are all entitled to what is to happen in Article 136 2B of the Constitution, which says that election shall be held on the second Tuesday of August of the 5th year. So Wakili want to unpack all these things and what does it take. Again, don't forget that in the Thande's judgment, there was a green light that he gave, that although it is a must that it should be done tomorrow, that is, which is Wakil, is it 11th tomorrow?
Tomorrow happens to be the 11th.
The 11th.
Which is the second Tuesday.
This is the second Tuesday.
Yes.
And there was other arguments about that the first one was held in 8th of August. The other one went for the 9th of August. So we are also going to discuss about those dates and more and more and more. And Wakili does not need more introduction. I think we can just kick off. Wakili, so as we kick off,
yes,
before even you greet the Legal Mind citizens, there's a question of is it of or during or after or before the 5th year? Yes.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon. My name, as David, you've indicated, is Lawrence Obonyo. I'm an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. I'm practicing under the name of style of Lawrence Obonyo Legal Advocates. Our offices are here in Mombasa, Diani, and Kitengela. I'm also serving as the vice chairperson of Mombasa Law Society and as a stewardship of our chairperson, who is Madam Natasha Aliere. Now, it's a pleasure always to come here because it's a good platform that you've created to educate the masses and also get to sensitize people on what is happening within our circles. The elephant in the room right now is the question of the date of conducting the elections.
Yes.
This has been a thorn in the flesh for all agitators and people who are actually scholars and people who want to understand the law over a long period of time. The question has been, what is the interpretation of the clause that talks about the date of the election?
Yes.
Now, as a country, we are very notorious for letting things go. Or for lack of a better terms, for the greater good, we let things go just the way it is. We know that the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission is a constitutionally mandated body that is stemming from the Constitution and draws its powers from the Constitution. But those powers have to be exercised within the ambits of the Constitution. Part of what we find that the problem is right now is because of the misdirection, lack of direction, or misinterpretation by this particular body.
Yes.
Now, I would wish to categorically align myself and side with the reasoning of Justice Mugure Thande, who is a very well-reasoned mind in the legal fraternity for over a long period of time.
Yes.
It's such a shame that we find that some of our colleagues and people are actually throwing stone or castigating her for interpreting the law as is. Because looking at the clause of the date of the election, it uses very direct prepositions. You know, when you used in, of, or within. Those are very different.
Yes.
But when the Constitution, the clause says that in the 5th year, it doesn't say after. This is the question that we need to look at. It may be a matter of semantics, but those semantics are very important. We say that in law, even a comma or a full stop at the right place matters a lot. In the wrong place, it destroys everything. So that is why it is important to understand what in means. Because the wording is not after. The wording is in. So let us just look at the basic interpretation, not go to the Black's Law Dictionary, not go to the Merriam-Webster's dictionary, just basic understanding in. In means within. It means that there are certain brackets that you have to be within. Now, when someone says after, after now denotes a different one. So the question has been that where have we had this provision of service of elected membership for a period of 5 years and a term that continues after those 5 years? This is the misnomer that this petition sought to resolve. The human rights activist, that is Helef, and the very educated Dr. Owiso, now soon to be Professor Owiso, they were not doing this as a matter of fun. They wanted to test the limits of the Constitution.
Yeah.
I'm a very good student of constitutionality and constitutionalism, because at the end of the day, we have our presiding judge currently, that is Justice Jairus Nga, presiding here in Mombasa, the Constitutional Division, and is the presiding judge. He has always told us, test the limits of the Constitution. If you don't test the limits of the Constitution, you'll not know how good or how bad it is.
It is, yeah.
Now, these petitioners tested the limits of the Constitution to try and get the basic understanding of what the clause indicates or the article states when they say in the 5th year.
Yeah.
Now, the learned judge has looked at it, compounded, and found that actually in the 5th year means that it is within the year 2026, the year of our Lord, not 2027, because arithmetically, someone would be going beyond the term that has been set by the wording of it.
Of that.
What happens when you're not happy with that? When you're not happy with the interpretation or the provision that has been given, you have another option to make a reference to the Supreme Court, to appeal against that, to try and get a further expounding of that. But attacking the judicial officer is not the right way.
It's not the right way.
It's not the right way.
I think you've answered my second question.
Yes.
But this is for the few.
Yes.
In the fact that you've explained that in the Constitution, even a comma matters when it is put in a correct manner.
Correct.
And when it is put in the wrong manner, again, it also conflicts the interpretation of the law.
It is very devastating.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And now the question of the number of days.
Yes.
For example, the first one was held in 8th of August.
Yes.
And that means that it was the second week of the 5th year.
Yes.
Which simply means, because I had a question of, somebody will say, if it is a must that it is supposed to be held in the second Tuesday of the month of August in the 5th year, meaning there are some years that on that Tuesday, it might be 13th. Maybe on that another Tuesday of the second of the month of August, it could be 16th.
Yes.
Yet the election was held, like in the last election, it was held on 9th, which means we could also have another election on 9th of August.
There's something but finish your question, yes?
You can just help me understand because I'm asking as a layman.
I understand.
Yes.
I understand your question to be talking about the dates.
Yes.
But if you look at the wording, if you can just quickly look so that our viewers cannot be misled.
That is Article 136.
Yes, the wording of the clause indicates, does not give you a specific date.
Article 136(2). Can I go straight to 2?
Yes, yes.
It says that an election of the president shall be held on the same day as a general election of members of parliament, being the second Tuesday in August in every 5th year.
Correct. Now, looking at the dates, like you said, the other year it was held on the 9th, the previous year possibly on the 8th. I'm not very certain about the previous
Absolutely,
year,
yeah.
but we're not looking at the date of the calendar. We're looking at the day of the week. It is the second Tuesday. It's the Tuesday that falls on the second. So that's like the middle of the a month has 4 weeks.
Yes.
So we're looking at the second week, which that Tuesday, whatever date it will be. It may not be on the 9th, it may not be on the 13th, it will just be that day. So long as it's a Tuesday, that falls to be the second Tuesday of the month of August.
Yes.
But in the 5th year. Now that is the next part that we are going to come to.
Yes.
But now the wording of the Constitution gave that leeway, because if you had a date, then those dates would give you challenges. There were some dates would fall on weekends. Some dates will fall on days that are very uncomfortable, that maybe, we have certain holidays that are not preset in the calendar. They happen with certain natural occurrences. So that a date would have been a challenge. But a particular day of the month, because the months will always be the same.
Yes.
Tuesday will always be Tuesday.
Yes.
So whatever date that will be, then that actually suffices as a date.
Okay.
Yes.
So again,
yes,
there was another problem that we are going to discuss further as we proceed with this discussion. So this one simply means that it is not a must. The president, let us use the president as the subject matter in this case.
Yes.
That the president shall serve or the president shall serve for 5-year term. That is 60 months of service. So which if you read that article, and the interpretation means that the term of the president is not limited to 5 years. Am I correct?
Now, I'll tell you something. There's a misinterpretation there. When does a president start to serve? Does a president start to serve upon election?
No.
Thank you. You've already answered that, because that's a very pertinent question that people have to understand. There's normally a transition period.
Yeah. Go on.
So, David, you have to understand that, you see, to the lay people out there who understand that, oh, you've been elected, now you're the president. Now we start counting, because I've had some people baselessly start saying that the elections were in 2022 on this date and you were declared the winner. Now we start counting from there. No, you don't start counting from there. There's a transition period. There's that period whereby you have to go through petitions, you have to go through everything. Once it's done, there's a date that is given for inauguration.
Yes.
So when you're inaugurated and the instruments of power are handed over to you, then you start to serve as a president. Now, where it says, I want us to look at the law properly, where it says that you shall serve for that period of time, when do you stop serving? Does a president stop serving on the date of the election? The answer is no. A president is still a president even after elections. So they fear that if you hold elections within the time that is written in the Constitution, then you will have cut short someone's period of time of service. That does not suffice. Because tell me why someone would think that if elections are held, let's say tomorrow, which is the 11th of August 2026, then this president will have served less time. No. The elections will be held. The result will be announced. The period of contestation shall be given. After that, the date of inauguration shall be given. Then the handing over of the instruments of power, if there's any shift or change, shall happen at a later date. What will this president be doing then? They will be serving. That is why other people kept on complaining that coffers were emptied after so and so won. Why? Because that person won an election and became a president-elect. Did not become a president. That is why we have that suffix where we talk about elect. It is a qualifier to who you are. You have not assumed the presidency. You're actually a president in waiting.
In waiting.
Okay.
And then,
but there is already, because in law we say that power abhors vacuum. There will be never a vacuum in power. It has to be filled so that we don't have anarchy, we don't have a lot of chaos, we don't have anything. So it means that when this president-elect is waiting to assume power, the incumbent, the outgoing president, will serve until the last date as a president.
As a president.
Correct.
And the last date immediately after the inauguration, now the president-elect
assumes power from there.
Yes.
From there. And then this other one becomes a former president.
A former president.
Correct.
Immediately after that. I think I saw that during this last election. That is when now my eyes were keen.
Yes.
When now the Eddie Camp.
Yes.
Moved from the former president and went direct to the current president.
Correct.
At that time.
Yes.
And is there any in our constitution where we can have a caretaker president? This is because I've heard from the opposition leaders.
Yes.
Who are now saying, because our election were to be held on 11th of Tuesday this month.
Yes.
The month of August. According to the constitution.
Yes.
And that was now explained by the judgment by the Honorable Justice Mugure Thande.
Yes.
So what they were saying now, the President Ruto is like a caretaker government who by now cannot even hire or fire. So is there...
That's very funny.
Yes. I also found it so funny.
Yes.
So is there any vacuum in that sense?
Absolutely not. I would answer that with absolute certainty. There is no vacuum. As I've said,
yes,
power abhors vacuum. There shall never be allowed a vacuum in power because a lot of misdeed can happen within. And our constitution is self-executing. It is one that provides for fail-safes, so to speak. Now, I would not talk about a caretaker, but I cannot control, or I cannot tell you that we can control people's choice of language.
Okay.
So someone can deliberately throw a terminology to you or at you to either demean you or destabilize you, but that is their right. What happens is you who is being told or called these names, what are you doing about it? You need to exercise your mandate and duty as you're supposed to constitutionally. Now, in this particular aspect, the law does not provide for a caretaker president.
Okay.
Because there are fail-safes. For the avoidance of doubt, even in the worst case scenario, and we pray this never happens in this country, but we have seen it happen before, if a sitting president dies, there is always a protocol for another president to be acting. Then once the acting president has been given the period, which is normally a 90-day period to make sure that stability is there, then the transition happens.
Yeah.
This happened when our first president passed on while in office.
Yes.
He was the sitting president. What happened? Immediately the Attorney General and the commander-in-chief, or not commander-in-chief, but there's a military personnel that the name escapes me, but the CDF.
Yes.
The CDF.
Yes.
The Commander of the Defense Forces.
Yes.
So they have to ensure that transition happens in a certain way that has been organized. So that is the Speaker, the Attorney General, and the CDF. They have to step in to ensure that the next person in line, and who is the next person? Is the Deputy President right now, and then now back then it used to be the Vice President.
Yeah.
In the event they cannot, then there's the other fail-safe of having the Speaker of the National Assembly to step in. So there is no such thing as a caretaker or a vacuum. To answer what they are questioning is they are questioning the legitimacy of this president after this period of time.
Yes.
The question that was in court, and for the avoidance of doubt, was a question of the date of the election. It is a question of the election. It is a question that has more weight on the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission and their execution of their mandate, not a question that would have any bearing to the president or who the president of the day is. Because if right now, indeed, as Justice Mugure Thande wrote in her reasoned judgment, if right now it is indeed that there was a misnomer, then the correction of the misnomer will be done while this president is sitting, because there is no vacuum. He is a president.
Okay.
How does he relinquish presidency when his term ends? How does his term end? His term ends when there is an election and there's what happens? And there is a president-elect who is now going to replace him, and at the inauguration.
Yes.
And I'll give you an example, David.
Yes.
Many a times people have read historically that there have been presidents around the world who've extended their term, not by going through the constitution, by looking at loopholes that can allow them to remain in power.
Yeah.
For example, a president who instigates and ensures that there is a war in their country just before the elections. What will happen? There are no elections. So what remains is that this person is a president.
Yeah.
Because a wartime leader has to see people through the wartime until such a time that the same is done. And that's why so many people have been questioning certain people and certain leaders of the world, that they want to extend their mandate beyond the constitutionalism of their different jurisdictions by creating environments for war. Then during wartime, it is well renowned that in terms of running governance, elections processes are put on hold so that you deal with the issue of the war.
First.
Yes.
So
there are very many circumstances that can make a president outstay their stay at the helms of power because of what is unavoidable, acts of God. Those are force majeure.
Yeah.
That's how we call them.
That is absolutely right. And how I wish that one does not happen here.
Yes.
Because there are possibilities of that.
We always pray that there is no such a thing. We pray that life is granted to everyone.
Yes.
And unlike our first president who died in power, that no leader dies in power.
Yes.
And again, we pray that no blood is shed in Kenya out of any war. There is no war at all. We continue.
I was worried
Yes.
when now the Gunism started.
Yes.
And I think maybe, as a person, you have to think.
Yes.
Maybe we were to achieve that line. But fortunately, Kenyans are becoming more knowledgeable than before. And I believe that cannot win.
And right there, even David, because that question of descending into anarchy because of Gunism and cartelism, I call it cartelism and all that because there is more to it than just mere Gunism. A country that is not considered war. War has to be within the ambit of a deployment of the defense forces. So that one can still be contained internally. That is not war. That one is disturbances. Those things that can be dealt with internally.
But IBC just said they can't have an election where the ambience is not conducive.
As a constitutional office, it is not upon any IBC member or any clause for them to decide anything. It is upon them to follow the constitutions. They are just umpires, referees, who make sure that the conditions are right, everything is done okay, but they cannot dictate the terms.
Okay.
They don't choose the parties. They don't choose the dates. They don't choose anything. They are just supervise, oversee.
Well, Akili, I was worried when you just came in without any written material.
Yes.
And the constitution.
Yes.
But because my brain doesn't allow me to be like you, I carried mine.
Please go ahead.
Some written material.
Yes.
So that I can refer. So allow me to refer to Article 177.4.
Yes.
And in this, you are going to explain to me and put in mind that majority of Kenyans who are participating in this election believe that leaders are elected for 5 years.
Yes.
And by the virtue of the verdict by Judge Mugure, then this is not the case. So please, can you use these two articles to explain to me why that Kenyan elected leaders are not subjected to 5-year term of office.
Yes.
I know I don't know how to open it very quick, as you guys do in courts. But I'm almost there.
Don't worry.
So 177 talks about Mbona hii katiba yangu inakimbia mbio kuliko nini? So this is 178. So this is 177. So let's go to 4 direct.
Yes.
Says a county assembly is elected for term of 5 years, and it is one of the specific article in
Mhm.
this constitution that a county assembly is elected for a term of 5 years.
Yes.
And when you look at this one and you go to 136.2,
Mhm.
saying that the election of the president is held with all the election. That is the county assembly, that is the
Yes.
member of parliament, the women rep, the governor, the senators, and so forth.
Yes.
So what is the difference? Why is it that sometimes these guys does not serve 5 times, yet the
Mhm.
constitution in that article has categorically
Mhm.
put it there that they must serve for 5-year term?
But David, you misunderstand. Does the constitution say anywhere that they must serve for 5 terms?
No, the constitution does not say they shall.
But the question, if you
Yes.
read Article 177.4 that you've just read, it says election shall be.
Yes.
It says that the county assembly shall.
A county assembly is elected for a term of 5 years.
It is elected for a term of 5 years.
Yes.
Now, we're talking about election for a term of 5 years. That is the term that they have to serve, correct?
Mm.
Now, when we spoke earlier, just a few seconds ago, I mentioned to you the intricacies of transitional periods.
Mm.
So this is what we need to understand. A term of 5 years, when you go to 136, it now talks about elections being held in 5 years. In
the 5th year. Yeah.
In the 5th year.
Yes.
In the 5th year. So I don't see any misnomer there because it does not put one to serve longer than the other. But the question is, if we were to do the mathematical calculation, when we started in 2022, August, when this government, when we had elections, let's talk of elections, then August of 2023, August of 2024. So August of 2022 to 2023, that's a constant one year.
1 year, yeah.
The next year is August of 2023 to 2024. August of 2024 to August of 2025. August of 2025 to August of 2026. August of 2026 to 2027. That would bring us to the 5th year now, the end of it, correct? But
yes,
the constitution says
yes,
in the 5th year.
Yes.
So we are already in the 5th year.
Meaning, let me just understand it. Meaning, this 5th year does not mean that there must be a completion of 60 months. No.
Correct.
This in. So we
Yes.
can be in the 5th year with 2 days.
Yes. But that is when you're supposed to conduct elections.
Another election.
What we don't understand, and this is where now I sense to differ with most of our colleagues.
Yes.
Let's borrow a leaf from the UK.
Yes, yes, yes.
You've had in instances where members of the executive, that is the prime minister, they relinquish office. But David, keep with me, and I want our viewers to keep with me on this one.
Yes.
Do they leave the office immediately, or do they give an opportunity for transition period?
They have to.
When Liz Truss, the shortest serving member,
Prime Minister
of the UK served, when she tendered her resignation, she said that I shall be relinquishing office, and during this time will help so that the transition is there. This is not what we have here in Kenya. You understand?
Yes.
So this transition period is what my understanding is that this constitution offers us.
Yes.
So, David, let's say you've won your elections.
Yeah.
Nobody expects you to just jump in there not knowing what is happening. You have to be walked through the lawn, as they say. Elections are done today. Yeah. And in other jurisdictions, you assume office. We're in August. You assume office in January of the following year.
Yes.
And then we have mechanisms of ensuring that there is no plundering of the public coffers, because you are already a public servant. Anything and everything that you do that goes against what is public service, you shall be prosecuted against it. So, for us as a country, we have been rushing things. This is why we have a president whose inauguration speech only becomes blaming the previous president. So we need to find a way or mechanism of complying with this law. Let's say elections are done right now, but assumption of office shall be done at a later stage.
Okay.
So we need to understand this. So the 5-year term
Yes.
shall still be served. Why haven't we looked at that? Yeah.
Wow. I think this constitution was written by people in their wisdom. I might say they didn't picture in some of us because we read it as if we are reading the biblical verses and we want direct translation.
Direct
We are
translation.
not looking at the context in that.
The
We just
context
get-
matters a lot.
Yeah, we just get the content. Now we start running and saying, like the famous article of 37,
Yes.
that we are told we have to do maandamano,
Yeah.
and then we leave. But now I am coming to understand why
Yes.
at some point Senior Counsel James Orengo
Mm.
talk about when a verb follows a noun.
Mm.
So I didn't know why was that one necessary.
The words, the prepositions, the construction of them, they really matter because those are our tools of trade as lawyers. And as advocates, we know how to put what when. Now, what the Constitution did not offer
Yes.
or did not clearly spell out in black and white
Yes.
is that we are a people and the presidency is an office.
Yeah.
It's an office in perpetuity. We want a situation where when David Otieno is elected as the president of Kenya, the incumbent has an opportunity to finish some of the projects, to do a proper handover, to make sure the transition is smooth, so that the technocrats know whether they can work with this president, whether they can work with this government or not. You see, I'll give you an example. The first example was the UK.
Yeah.
The other example is the US. Elections are held, but the assumption of office, you will always see that the two presidents shall have even the official handing over of the White House, even the moving out of primary residence so that you can transition. So that doesn't happen overnight. Sometimes it takes months.
It takes time, yeah.
And in the UK, they might say that so-and-so has stepped down, of course, from a party position, but it gives time for the party to do elections to find the next person.
Yeah.
That is why when Keir Starmer had to step down, now Baham had to take his own time so that he can assume office. But he was not elected then as the leader of the party. We had to have a bit of time. So when we have elections conducted, if it was possible tomorrow, then during this transition period, because the current president still has mandate. So during this period, the current president knows that I will not be in office come, let's say, February of next year. So what I'm doing is the transitioning period. And this other president is learning the ropes if there is a change of presidency. Then they learn the ropes as they move on. They learn the tools of power. They learn who to deal with and all that. We don't want this situation that we embarrass ourselves, that today you come into office, in the next 14 days you've moved into the State House, you don't know what to do. You don't have employees. You don't have technocrats to run everything. Then you decide to fire everyone, bring your cronies and run the country down.
Okay.
So this transition period is what was not spelled out. And this is what we have to assist our society to understand that the transition period has to be there.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yes.
The take home is that it is not a must that an elected person shall serve for 5 years, but it might get himself in the 5th year. So I think that is a take home. So we don't have to argue on that.
Yes,
But
yes.
that was when I was preparing myself for this, it took me even to the Supreme Court judgment
Yes.
concerning the MCS when now they were complaining that because the first election in our in the new dispensation of the Constitution that happened in, was it March?
Yes,
happened in March.
it was early in the year. It was March.
Yes, it was March.
Yes.
So the next election of 17th of 2027 happened in August.
Yes.
In August. So they were
Yes.
saying because the first election was held in
March.
in March. Now there are a lot of months. I think they were saying 8 months
that they lose
because they didn't serve for
the entire term.
For the entire term.
Yes.
That's according to them.
Yeah.
They referred to Article 177.4.
Yes.
That the Supreme Court said that this one is not a must that you guys must serve for this specific year term, because they said the new constitution does not specify or does not speak about the 5-year term. That was done by the constitution that superseded by this one now.
Very correct.
That is very correct. And I think this is a take home for all politicians and Kenyans who are now preparing for the election. So in this ruling again, Justice Mugure said that he suspended this election to happen tomorrow, for instance,
yes,
just because of the preparedness of the election.
Indeed.
And what have you.
Yes.
So under what circumstance? You've started by saying that one, maybe there is a war. I believe there are other factors than the election can be suspended.
So many factors. So many.
Let's before we go to those factors, let's take for instance, if Mugure did not suspend the election to happen tomorrow, what could happen? Because the judgment came in a short time.
Yes.
And again now, once you served more than the term that is speculated in the constitution, it is now against the law now again. So what could happen?
Ideally, what we need to look at, David, is why do we have elections? Why do we have the structure of governance? Why do we have leadership there?
Yeah.
It is for the same purpose that we want to run our society in an organized way. There's nothing cast in stone. You see, it is during our time that we've lived to see the dispensation where we've had a referendum and changed the constitution. So many people, even when they were dealing with the contentious Article 2 and 2A of the constitution, of the older constitutional dispensation, it was something that was done only in parliament. But there was no referendum for people to actually vote on the same. But now we have an instance where we had all of these things that we got to this position where we have the opportunity to have a constitution to guide our society. Now, judge and all rulings and decisions of judgments of the court, they are not given in nullity. They are given so that they can be executed. So it would have been an exercise in futility for the Honorable Court to give impossible tasks, like say, do the elections tomorrow. So when the court is being told, do the elections tomorrow, and yet there is preparedness, there's verification and all that, in case there's failure, they would throw it back to the courts. That is why the courts give you a transition period. Put your house in order. Do A, B, and C. But immediately after, do not rely on the same excuse that was there before. All judgments and rulings are given for posterity purposes. So therefore, Justice Mugure Thande has edged her name in history for giving us a direction as a country. So all the subsequent decisions that will be made by the Independence and Electoral and Boundaries Commission, they have to bear in mind that the fact that directions were given, unless otherwise provided by a higher court. Now, this means that there is no illegality for any president to be sitting right now like this. But the fact that we've realized that there is a thorn in our flesh, we have two options. Keep it there so that the flesh rots, or remove it and let the flesh heal. In this particular instance, the removal of this mentality that we have to do elections after 5 years will help us heal as a society, because it will give us an opportunity to actually create transitional mechanisms. Get to know. Wouldn't you want to be very happy to know that by the end of August 2026, you know who the president will be in 2027, because elections are already done. So this president is only doing the transitional period, and then inauguration shall happen at a certain date. And then in that next presidency, they will know that we have to do everything in advance, knowing very well that on the second Tuesday of the month of August, in the 5th year, not after, I need to have put my house in order, make sure that I have A, B, and C.
Perfect.
So we were doing this for posterity.
For prosperity.
Yes.
So perhaps if Justice Mugure did not see the need of suspending the election to happen tomorrow, 11th of August,
We would have
2026,
chaos.
there could be constitution, how do you call it?
I know the word you're
Crisis.
looking. Yeah, there
Yes.
would be a crisis,
Yes.
and we would have situations of parliaments that are not mandated to be there.
Mhm.
We would have people who are holding office unconstitutionally and all that. But right now, we've been given an opportunity to correct a wrong that we overlooked.
Okay.
Remember, we are still in the baby steps. Our constitution is barely 16 years.
Yeah.
So we are just looking at a teenager.
Mhm.
You know, this is the time that we make the teenager.
Mhm.
Unasema samaki mkunje angali mbichi.
Angali mbichi, yeah.
So this is the time that we test. But when this constitution will become 21 years of age and above, there are things we won't be able to do.
Okay.
Tutakuwa tumesha wacha ikakuwa mature.
Okay.
Yes.
And again, we are putting this discussion in the month where we are going to celebrate our constitution for the 16th year.
Yes.
But I believe in the implementation is now the 13th year.
Yes.
Because the implementation started 2013 after now the new government was in power.
And that is a very classic example of why elections should be held early. Yeah. You see, we promulgated the constitution in 2010. We started its effect in
2013.
The period between was a transition period.
I didn't see it that way. But I remember it was also used when Kibaki, the former president, the late president, tried to do some nomination. Was it appointment? And those appointments were quashed by the court.
Yes.
Yeah. Saying that the new constitution does not guarantee a president to do 1, 2, 3.
Correct.
So I think also the implementation did not only begin in the new government,
the transition period,
but also in the transition period.
Correct.
Okay. So that one also means during the transition period, there are things that the incumbent president cannot
do.
Wow.
Yes.
He can't fire and hire, or?
You see,
yes,
firing and hiring are things that we are seeing, and they are very myopic. Sorry to use that word. We are only looking not beyond our noses.
Yes.
Think of a president who would wish to engage us in serious debt during the transition period. That thing should not be allowed.
Yes.
The cabinet there and then and the parliament cannot allow such, because a president would want to do expenditure that is just to punish the next government. That is embezzlement and plunder. It should not be allowed within a certain period of time.
Okay.
That's why when we have laws that determine and organize a transition period, then we don't need to be worried. We know very well that my mandate as David Otieno was to do this and this during this period of time. Now that I've been voted out and I'm leaving office, all I can do is just manage what is remaining within my rights, like signing new laws. You sign a new law saying that you shall not be prosecuted as you leave the office.
Yeah.
You see, such things cannot be allowed. So there are things that you cannot be allowed to do during the transition period.
Okay, that is perfect. I think this podcast is going to help us understand so many things regarding laws, not only election law, but other factors in the constitution.
Yeah.
So we are coming back in this period whereby now we are celebrating our constitution.
Yes.
By aging 16 years. Still a teenager, as you correctly put it.
Yeah.
But now there is something that is happening.
Mm-hmm.
We are celebrating it at 16th year during the election period pia. Though haijaanza, inafaa ianze mwaka ujao mwezi wa pili kule.
Naam.
Lakini tumekuwa tukiona mabadiliko ya kisheria katika safu ya uchaguzi.
Ndio.
And last time we were discussing this, a lot came out.
Yes.
So now there's another amendment in the Senate.
Yes. Proposed.
The proposed amendment.
Yes.
That is to amend this act. Is it Act of 20? This is Act of 2011.
Yes.
The Election Act of 2011.
Yes.
Is it the one that was
again amended in 2013? Yes.
2013.
Yes.
And there was also another amendment in 2016.
Correct.
So this of mine is outdated.
No, it's not outdated. There are amendments that come, but yes, the Election Act of 2011. Yes.
So I believe in this one.
Yes.
There are some clauses that have been deleted.
Yes. They've already been repealed.
Yes. So I'm going to check. I thought this is the original. So in this one,
Yes.
there is some clauses or section in this the current election act,
Yes.
and I was trying to look at that law, whether it is in the constitution or it is in the act, but sijapata.
Yeah.
Maybe I was on a hurry. So my first question could be:
Yes.
is it mandatory for the IEBC to stream live the election at the tallying center? That is one question. Two,
Yes.
the IEBC are saying that they did not sponsor any bill to change the live streaming as speculated by Kenyans.
Yes.
But malingling
Yes.
Zandani, inasema that there is amendment in the new amendment
Yes.
that want to delete that law that guarantees IEBC to stream live the result. So first, is there any law that mandate IEBC to do so? That is first. So start with it.
Okay. There are laws that you have to understand that our sources of laws are different.
Yeah.
We have the constitution, we have common law, and we have also court decisions that direct. So
Absolutely.
precedents from court.
Yeah.
Now, what you want to you're referring to would be regarded as the minor Kiai decision. There's a decision from the court that gave us the aspect of live streaming or reflection of election results in real time. So when we go over this, we find that this has always been the safeguard for the country. Now, there is a petition that was filed by enthusiastic individuals. I cannot speculate who was behind the same.
Yeah. Yes.
But this petitioner claims that this creates unnecessary tension in the country, contributes to division, and actually fans the flame of electoral violence. So this petitioner, that is their contention, and they've taken it to court. At the same time, simultaneously, the same has been picked up by I don't know if it's a private member's bill or it's a bill that has been sponsored by a different person, but there is also this that has been taken to the houses.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, when you take such, there is no problem with someone proposing something. You know, we've had so many things in this country, so many positive ideas and very many negative ideas that have been proposed. But when it comes to public participation and the decision that shall be made, that is where we need to actually be very careful. So when they come to actually check on public participation and open the portal for this is where people need to step up and speak.
Yeah.
Our very own constitution gives us the freedom of thought, the freedom of conscience, and the freedom to approach this court and seek for our rights to be executed. Now, when we want to hear people, we cannot apply double standards. So we need to allow these petitioners and their reasoning. So that with that, we let the public now decide. But in my own take, there has been a high level of accountability that comes with live streaming. This has been decided by the courts. Talking about Form 34B, talking about what has happened and the announcement that has been given by the returning officer on the ground vis-a-vis what is held at Bomas or any other place. These are things that have come from the courts. So it's not something that is specifically out there in the law as we are putting it, but it is stemming out of the decisions that have been taken to court through petitions.
Okay.
And also this proposal that is being given, they have their reasons, but we may not agree with them.
Okay.
Yes.
And again, you've said,
Yes.
naona nasikianga wakisema kwa bunge,
Yes.
of those of contrary opinion say nay.
Yes.
And nakadhalika.
Yes.
So there's another question that I was asked to ask you.
Yes.
Why is it that during the electioneering period, members of parliament or perhaps people who align themselves in the power or
Yes.
the incumbents
Yes.
trust or believe so much and believe that the election laws must be changed? before the period of election,
Mm.
because this is not the first time that we are experiencing this. I think
Yes.
even by the time we were doing this amendment in 2011,
Mm.
we were 2 years away from the election.
Yes.
By the time we were also doing amendment in 2016, we were also one year away from the election.
Yes.
And we see the how it is abnormal sometimes that the process of this thing. So why is it that during this time that Kenyans should be concentrating on listening to people's agenda and also make right decision, the incumbent, most of the member of parliament or other people affiliating themselves with the government of the day, want to amend the law or bend the law? Why is it so?
Kila mwamba ngoma huvutia kwake.
Yes.
You see, it is a tactic to try and get an upper hand over other people. It is short-sighted, and it is something that they do to try and steal the match by trying to actually change at the very last minute.
Yes.
I remember when we discussed this, we talked about the aspect of not giving people enough time to actually participate, depending on the fatigue that people have had, and trying to sneak things to actually favor themselves.
Yes.
This is a sad bit that happens in this country. But over and over a period of time, I'm very, very happy with the Fourth Estate and platforms like this one. We've been being given an opportunity as a citizenry of getting the information upfront, of being sensitized, so that we get to know that there is this that is coming up. There is this bill that is coming up. There is this change in the law that is coming up, so that we can actually participate. And this is why it was very, very important. And we thank God for this constitution. It gave us that aspect of public participation. The participation in making decisions, it is actually very important. And right now, you can even question how public participation was done, whether it meets the threshold or it does not. This is the beauty of this constitution. So why do people do this towards the tail end? It is to try and steal a match. It is to try and cover their tracks. It is to try and depend on the fatigue of people. And it is to try and be like last minute people the way we normally are. So all of this, they are ingredients for failure, ingredients for wrong things. And we should not allow this for this to happen. As a matter of fact, I would have thought that it would be prudent for us to have a certain threshold in the standing orders that certain bills shall not be brought, let's say, 6 months to elections, 1 year to elections, so that we can actually have a cap, so that you don't find anything, any bill, any law that is proposed to be amended or to be assented to or to be passed after a certain period of time, so that you safeguard this from being campaign tools. You safeguard this from being a reward system for certain individuals. And you safeguard this for being a cover-up for certain individuals who want to leave the office.
Okay.
Yes.
Before I refer my question to the Constitution,
yes,
I don't know which article, but the election of the president.
Yes.
I'm going to, is it Article 138? I'm going to check which article it is, if I'm not wrong. Give a very good direction of how IEBC should conduct itself during this period.
Indeed.
And then it also says that what I like about that is this Form 34A.
Yes.
That is filled in the polling station.
Indeed.
And that should be transmitted direct to the National Tallying Center.
Correct.
And the agents or how do you call those people who are managing the polling station? Are they returning, not returning officers? I don't know their name. I've forgotten their name.
Yes.
So
let's just call them the officers on the ground.
Yes. So if you look at the translation of this law,
yes,
it stipulates that it could be very difficult to rig an election. But still, we find ourselves in the Supreme Court immediately after the general election, after the results are being given out.
Yes.
So, in the new dispensation of the Constitution, do you think, by virtue of this law, that the problem of stealing election was solved? It is only that the people who have been trusted with these positions are the people who are not, what can I put it, are not true to Kenyans or does not want to believe in our law.
Okay. I want us to understand one thing. There is election malpractices.
Yeah.
where we find the Election Offences Act,
Yes.
then there's one of them is that aspect of stealing.
Yes.
You know, to the common person and the way we discuss it, when we say that elections were stolen, you have to be able to demonstrate and show when, where,
Mm.
and how.
Mm.
These three things are very important.
Yes.
This is why you find petitions fail, because you say elections were stolen. When, where, and how. You've spoken about how a form is a final document that is a form from the ground that is not subject to any amendment.
Yes.
That should control so much that you don't be able to alter documentation. So when you say when, then that will mean that the stealing cannot happen during the transition period where you're transmitting it out there. Where elections cannot be stolen at that tallying center. So if you have to steal elections, you have to steal them at the ground,
On the grassroots.
at the grassroots level.
Yes.
And when you want to steal elections at the grassroots level, you know there's that option of recount, and there's so many options. And you want to ask how. How are you going to steal the elections? Are you going to do ballot stuffing? Are you going to reduce the number that has been announced for someone? Those are the questions that you have to look at. And when you go to the intricate aspects of doing an election petition and looking at the threshold of the evidence that is required, these are the things that go to the core of it. So when you talk of election stealing, are we talking of altering results? Are we talking of ballot stuffing? Are we talking of inhibiting people from coming to vote? Because there are many ways one can steal an election. So the question that you had asked about, does this cure the problem of stealing elections? For us to be able to adequately answer that question, we have to understand how, when, where can elections be stolen?
And will take us back to Maraga's judgment.
Takes us back to the core of it.
Or the hot air thing.
Not even the hot air. You see, the decision by Justice Maraga, CJ Emeritus,
Yes.
looked at, do you want to excuse something small, say that it was inconsequential, or do you want to give it the right way?
Okay.
When you look at the decision by the Supreme Court under the regime of our current president of the judiciary, that is the judge who is Justice Martha Koome, you look at what can you prove? That is the question of the hot air. Because when you say hot air cannot burn a house, you know, we have to understand what hot air meant. It means that there is something that is hot, but is it effectful? Is it consequential? If the answer is no, then why should we worry about it? If hot air has filled a room, does it pose a danger?
Maybe.
So,
yes,
to the structure of the house. So these are the questions that you ask.
Yes.
So one said that any wrong at any point constitutes something that gives us an irregularity that should be dealt with. The other one says that you have brought things, but those things are not good enough for us to revisit this question that you're talking about.
Okay. So 27th of this month, we are celebrating Katiba.
Yes.
And I correct me if I'm wrong. I think you started practicing in the new constitution.
Yes, I did. I started practicing law as an advocate under the new constitutional dispensation.
So what do you have to celebrate the constitution on 27th of August?
On the 27th of August, we have so many things, but one major thing I have to thank and be grateful for this constitution is the freedoms that have been given. The Bill of Rights has been expanded to a larger extent. The freedom to information, the rights that have been there, the access to courts, the change of constitutional bodies, the accessibility of constitutionally mandated individuals like police officers, Office of the Ombudsman, the Independent Policing Oversight Authority, I have so much to celebrate. So, at an individual level, I would say the Bill of Rights was expanded beyond what we can restrain.
Okay.
And that expansion of Bill of Rights
Mhm.
also comes with the other side, because that expansion has made us be to this day and age see the prosecution and bringing to action or to calling to accountability certain individuals who are never going to be accountable.
And I don't want to mention their
Please,
names.
please, let's not mention. And then above all,
Yes.
this constitutional dispensation has given us life in terms of opportunities, because when you expand the Bill of Rights, then we have opportunities that were going to be lost or were being lost in the previous aspect
Yeah.
to certain other countries, to certain individuals, and all that. So it has actually empowered us. If we were at an energy level of 5% as a country under the old dispensation,
Mhm.
right now I would tell you that we are comfortably at 87%.
Mhm.
We are going up, and up.
So you believe that the implementation of this new dispensation is at 80%?
It is at 87%.
87%.
87, not
80
90.
87.
87%. We still have a way to go.
What's
but
wrong
it's
with the
not
13th?
I would say the 13% comes with mostly political goodwill.
Wow.
Yeah, the 13% I would attribute it to political goodwill, because remember, we've signed away our rights as individuals to be led by certain few
Yeah.
who form the government and become the governance structures of this country.
Okay.
So we thank the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, may the Lord rest his soul in peace, for championing for devolution. Devolution, in as much as it has devolved all the demons down here, it has also devolved blessings.
Yes.
There are individuals or certain parts of this country which would have remained 50 years and beyond behind. But now we have an aspect where the devolution has actually been sent out there and it's working, but we have the demons who are intermediaries. They're the ones who are stopping the devolution fruits to be enjoyed at the ground, grassroots level.
Yeah.
So we really thank the crafters of this new constitution. It's no longer new, of this current constitution.
Yeah.
We thank the governments that have been there. I'm one person who would come out and say that I would wish to thank the government of President Kibaki for seeing this through, the government of Uhuru, that is Uhuru 1,
Yeah.
the government of Uhuru 2, and the government of President Ruto, because there are certain achievables, the low-hanging fruits that we've been able to enjoy. Unajua wanasema mgala muwe lakini haki umpe. We cannot be complaining, or I will not be the one person who will just complain and not give credit where it's due. So these respective governments that I've mentioned have given us an opportunity to enjoy the fruits of the new constitutional dispensation, even if it is at different stages.
Okay.
Because the stage at which the late President Kibaki left us is not the rate, standard at which President Uhuru has left us, and is not the rate at which President Ruto will leave this. Because I believe even if he gets his second term, he will have to leave the office at some point.
Yeah.
Even if he does not complete his second term or does not get a second mandate, he has left us somewhere. Okay. So that is what we are grateful for.
And given chance, do you think that there are some aspects that could be corrected in the new dispensation of the Constitution?
Oh yes, a lot more.
Could you please at least name two?
A lot that could be dealt with in the current dispensation is the ideology of lessening the wage bill. The current constitutional dispensation had the ideology of lessening the wage bill from the onset. Remember how President Kibaki came to office and we knew that we would only have 22 cabinet secretaries, and we would reduce this and we would reduce that. Now we've had more and more of expansions in terms of offices being created left and right and center.
Yes.
Another aspect that I would have wished that could have happened earlier is the passing of bills such as the privatization bill, which has given us an opportunity to have ineffective, defunct parastatals that have just been eating money.
Mhm.
If that privatization had been looked at an earlier stage, we would be far, far along. Those are the two key things that come to mind,
Mhm.
but there are many more that I can think about.
Yeah.
But these are the two key things that come to mind.
But do you think, because do
Mhm.
you think it is a fact?
Yes.
I don't want to say whether it is true, but I want to use the word fact,
Mm.
that in this new dispensation, the
Mhm.
president is more powerful than it was in the old constitution.
No. I would resoundingly say no. It is in this new dispensation that we have taken the highest number of presidential decisions to court, and they have been nullified.
But why would you
And
believe
presidents have been forced to comply with that if they were powerful. You know, we used to have a president, President Moi, may the Lord rest his soul. He used to fire people at roadsides. He used to hire incompetent, unqualified individuals to hold the highest offices, and they used to rotate. Excuse me. They used to rotate. Someone today holds the defense ministry, tomorrow they are in charge of education ministry, and they are basically semi-literate.
Mm.
But now in this dispensation, if we have an incompetent person, we rush to court. We say the appointment of this person was unconstitutional. It did not meet the threshold of A, B, and C, and it is argued. So the government has to bring, the Attorney General and everyone have to bring their legal reasonings behind that. You have someone going for an appointment or a selection of office like the office of the Inspector General. Then we challenge that in court. And at some point, the president has to drop certain individuals because they find them as a burden.
Yeah.
So this constitution has given us the oversight and the monitoring mandate of the judiciary back into the hands of the people.
I want to finish as the vice chair
Yes.
of Mombasa Law Society.
Yes.
We can't shy away from this question.
Yes.
That in the last 3 weeks,
Yes.
you guys went on boycott.
Yes.
And you gave a notice of 12 courts.
Yes.
That Kenyans or advocates, your fellow advocate, should avoid.
Yes.
Because of the malpractice.
Indeed.
Then I asked your chair, when you look at the new constitution,
yes,
the statutes that govern the judiciary,
yes,
I think there are more than 7. Yet you chose to boycott. And that can also fall under Article 41 of the Constitution.
Yes.
And we're wondering until when? Because we know there are factors that could be figured to ensure that the rot in the judicial system or in the judiciary,
yes,
we can cleanse that by not only boycotting, but also do what it requires. Because by the time you guys are boycotting,
yes,
there are Kenyans who at some point believe that they were waiting for justice.
Yes.
But now those specific courts have been boycotted by advocates of the High Court.
Yeah.
Now this justice is being delayed. And as you rightly put it,
yes,
that justice delayed is justice denied.
Indeed.
Yes. So until when?
First of all, David, I can only comment briefly because this is a matter that is active in court. For the Mombasa Law Society, our spokesperson and the person who can give an official statement is our chairperson, that is Madam Natasha Aliere. So on that particular aspect of the Mombasa Law Society, I would reserve that question for her. But
yes.
There is a question of, this is a matter that is active in court.
Yeah.
There's an advocate in Nairobi who also chairs a tribunal. His name is Dr. Adrian Kamodho. He has approached court and sued the Law Society of Kenya. So, not to speak for our president, senior counsel, Charles Kanjama, but this is a matter that is active in court because this advocate obtained an injunction against the Law Society to continue with the boycott. So we are right now mandated by law not to boycott.
Okay.
But as a member of the Law Society of Kenya,
Yes.
I can comfortably tell you that for us to go for that option
Yeah.
that we went for,
Yeah.
we have tried to exhaust these other options. And we find it that this is the one that will always call for the ear of the judiciary at the fastest and shortest time period, because it's an uncomfortable situation that will bring, that has ripple effects over a larger and wider perspective. Of course, we have not bypassed the rest. You know, they say that a lie travels around the world before the truth gets up to start running. The truth is that
Yes.
the Law Society of Kenya has written and has engaged different arms and different ambits of our structures in terms of the stakeholders of dispensing justice at different levels. But it's either been falling on deaf ears or been taken for granted. That is why the Law Society has felt the need to go that way. But as I've said, currently the matter is active in court. We may not comment too much on that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We would let senior counsel talk about that. And when you get an opportunity, our chairperson, who is our official spokesperson, can actually give our position as Mombasa Law Society.
She did. We discussed that at large. And on which the reason why I kept on asking this question is because majority of Kenyans does not understand what is happening.
Yes.
Maybe, now there's a fear of Kenyans about advocates. I think it is one of the challenges that Kenyans advocates are now facing.
And personally, sorry to cut you short, but I personally feel like this is actually well orchestrated or well amplified, so that it can actually give us a very bad reputation to justify certain things that have been happening. Because why is it that this is a country that has been held at its backbone by the activism and the works of advocates over the years, since the time of CMG Agwin Skodek, being the first African advocate to practice around or open a law firm? Since that time, why is it that now that advocates are looked at as the enemy? Why is it that when we have more young people, more accessible and more upfront information-based advocates coming up, is when we have problems that advocates are becoming an enemy? A deeper eye, a deeper eye would give you, because as we can quote General Gaucho, as I call him,
Yes.
Bwana watu si wajinga. Watu si wajinga. You know,
he's not a doctor.
You know, when you see certain things that coincide with certain things that are actually opposite,
Yes.
then it takes a very keen and wise eye to see that this is something going on.
Yeah.
There has been a pushback and a fight against certain things that the judiciary are doing, trying to cut off advocates. We have had well-oiled and well-funded individuals who have been actually trying to invade the space of advocates. Then you see the offshoot of advocates being arrested for malpractice, advocates doing wrong things, advocates being branded the devils. These two, you have to just see that one is a pushback of the other. And you see what we advocates can do. We can say that, well and good, you want to be at the mercy of the hounds? Go for them. They will bite you and you will run back to the advocates, now the genuine advocates, so that they can actually help you. And it will be too late, and you'll blame the advocate for not doing anything. Whilst in the first instance, you ought to have come to a genuine advocate.
Absolutely. That was the correct statement that I was waiting for a person like you. And I will wish to tell Kenyans that in Obonyo, we trust. Is the current vice chairperson for the LSK, but Mombasa
chapter.
So it is Mombasa
Law
Society.
Correct. The oldest bar association in East and Central Africa.
Natasha said,
yes,
she's going to look at the top level.
Yes.
And I was talking to one of the advocate, Munyoki Titus, if I'm
Yes.
not wrong,
Yes.
and he promised to support you to be the chairperson. Are you still willing?
I am still willing to serve. I
Yes.
am looking forward to inherit the reins from my learned colleague
Yes.
and chairperson.
Yes.
When she decides to escalate or move higher,
Yes.
I am already willing.
But somebody was also telling me that you are also eyeing for Nyali member of parliament. Was it?
No. That one we shall not talk about at this
Okay.
stage. Thank you so
at
much.
the moment, we can treat it as a allegation.
We can treat it as good wishes. If the good people of Nyali would see that I would be a good candidate,
Yes.
then I'm ready and willing to serve them.
And I will support you because my vote is in Nyali.
Thank you so much.
I don't want to talk much, but Obonyo has given us, he has unpacked a lot that I was waiting for. I was prepared with a lot of documents here, but he made it easy for me. I didn't even refer too much. Things were just coming out, and absolutely I have learned a lot. So in this thing of election thing, we shall come back with the Lawrence to discuss it further before the general election so that we can understand and also know what is awaiting us before that general election. My name is David Otieno, and this is The Legal Mind, where the law meets politics of the day.